when they come and introduce themselves, okay? Till they come and introduce themselves, that they come, stand here and say, Sadhguru, this is me, I have come from Mars. It could be a fantastic interaction. Anyway, you're talking about they came and built this, they came and built the pyramids, they came and built the Mayan temples, they came and built the Indian Kailash temple, it's going on. Incredible things that human beings have done on this planet. I don't want to give away the credit to the aliens.
In yoga, we avoid this fourth level of development because once a person goes into this, he becomes miraculous. Many miracles start happening around him. What is there can be here, what is here can be there, you know what is happening there, these kind of things. In yoga, we seal this route because it's so huge, so vast, so miraculous. It feels like God. You don't need anything more. That's the kind of feeling that it creates. Now you can do telepathy, you can do telekinesis, all these things. These are Divya Manas. From 21 to 28, this mind can be easily developed. This is a natural process.
In this tradition, we have various kinds of beings. They are all particularly identified according to their quality. We have humans, and of course the animal nature and all those things that you can see around you. Those beings that you cannot see, there are some which we call as Bhuta Preta category. There are other beings that we call as Yakshas. There are other kinds of beings that we call as Gandharvas. And there are Devas. So based on this, there are tree gods, there are monkey gods, there are elephant gods, there is fruit god, there is vegetable god, there is flower god. For everything there is a god. Is this all figment of imagination? No, it is… Everything is happening because of certain forces. They identified these forces and personified them and created a method as to how to find access to them. So these yajnas were processes through which you can find access to certain forces in the existence so that you have an advantage of achieving things much more than you would do by your normal strength and capabilities. The word yajna has been translated as sacrifice. So the English word sacrifice you would always understand as giving up something for something else or giving up something for nothing. That's a sacrifice, okay? Giving up something for something else is commerce. Giving up something for nothing is sacrifice. So, yajna need not necessarily mean a sacrifice. Probably, yajna is a combination of an offering, an oblation and a sacrifice. It's a mixture of all these three things. A ritual through which you can please certain forces in the existence. In other cultures, generally they have not been properly identified and classified, all of them are dismissed as angels. But here, different quality beings have been identified as different types, and accordingly you call for a particular being for a particular kind of benefit. There is a whole process and science behind it. Even today, people are using these yagas and yajnas. Generally, for a lot of them it may not work because it's not being properly conducted the way it should be. But for many people it does work. There are many people who are hugely benefited by these things. People do achieve what they want to do in the material world by using yagas and yajnas in a certain way. Even though it doesn't matter how educated they are and how much liberation they talk about, even today, 95% of the Indians, if they want to enter a new home, they will do yagas and yajnas before they get in. Only here at Isha we don't do anything because we are a different breed. If you are in a certain level of consciousness and energy, everything that you do is a yajna. You don't have to do a separate ritual. The very way you live is a yajna. So yajnas are of different kinds. Yajna means a certain means to access a dimension which is right now not in your access. One is a ritualistic yajna, that you perform something, an expert in the field comes and does something for you through which you receive some benefit, or you have made your very life process into your yajna. Now you sit in the morning and you're doing your Shakti Chalana Kriya or your Shambhavi Mahamudra. This is an internal yajna. Without that sense of offering, you will never know the essence of that practice. If you make this a process, it's a very powerful yajna through which things happen in the world. Not just for yourself, things will happen around you beautifully. We have been saying constantly, if 1% of the world can become meditative, the remaining 99% will just pass very easily. Because if 1% of the world really begins to function, every moment of their life, their very life process is a yajna, if they become like this, the 99% will reap the benefit without doing anything about it. 1 person plants a mango tree, 100 people can eat it. 1 person cannot eat what comes out of one tree. It takes 100 people to eat it. So similarly, if you have made your life process itself into a yajna, if you've made your life process itself into an offering, then thousands of people can eat out of it. You would see simple women, just they made their life into total sacrifice for people who live around them in their families. They just cook, they serve, they never thought about themselves. What about me never came to them. You see, they are sage-like by themselves. My mother was a living example like this. She was educated enough, but her whole life was just serving her husband and children, that's all. Never we heard her telling us, "I love you," but such a question never arose. Whether she loves me or not never arose in our minds, because the very way she lives is in complete sacrifice for everybody around us. And nobody ever uttered anything about it, but in many ways, she was a goddess by herself. Everybody treated her as such. If she has to eat her morning breakfast, everybody in the family would have eaten. Then she will take a part of her breakfast and go to the backyard. She will look for anthills, nests of ants, and she will feed all the ants first, and then only she will eat. In today's mind, people may think, feeding ants, what nonsense. Spray insecticide, isn't it? If it came into the house, if it bit her children, she also did that. But somewhere in her mind, she felt the ants have as much right to live on this planet as she had. And just that little offering, everything is a sacrifice, everything is a yajna.
I know theories and theories are going around. Anything that you cannot explain that's happened on this planet, you want to invent a fantastic story that somebody else must have come and done this. I'm not saying that is not at all possible either, but I think 95% of it is just loose imagination. There is a 5% element of truth to it. I cannot deny it after having been to Manasarovar and Kailash. It's a living confrontation. It's a living encounter, so I cannot deny it, but everything that you cannot explain, thinking that somebody else from somewhere came and did this. This is a ancient problem continuing till today. If you don't know how something happened in your life, it must be him who did it. You know, somebody else is always responsible for all the things that we don't know how. I think it's 95% conjecture. Maybe there is a little bit of an element of truth in it somewhere, maybe. But instead of going off into these fanciful thoughts and philosophies and belief systems that you start seeing aliens floating around in your cities, when they come and introduce themselves, okay, till they come and introduce themselves, that they come, stand here and say, Sadhguru, this is me, I have come from Mars. Till then, we can ignore them. Really. Till then, you can ignore them. Because I know you've been watching Hollywood movies and they're going to come and attack you and you have to prepare right now. You have to build an army to fight the aliens. Somebody is making money on building this fanciful thought in your head. Even you have to fight wars with stars? I thought you could do something better. I thought you could do at least something better outside this planet. You're not able to settle your prejudices and, anger and hatred we have generated against people. If you are not able to drop it, I thought at least with aliens we could welcome them and have a party with them. But no, with stars also wars. I don't think so. If an alien comes, it's such a fantastic thing. Something absolutely new entered our life, there may be so much gossip. Huh? And you could share so many things, your insights into the local juice, and they may have their juice. It could be a fantastic interaction. Anyway, you're talking about they came and built this, they came and built the pyramids, they came and built the Mayan temples, they came and built the Indian Kailash temple, it's going on. In India, there's a temple called the Kailash temple, where this was not built, it was cut into a mountain from the top, okay? They took out some 4 million tons of rock. I want you to understand what I'm saying. It's like, let's say this entire thing was a rock and we carved this hall out of that rock, okay? Like this, they carved out a temple which is 3 floors with elaborate carvings and from the top. It's very difficult for any sculptor to work from the top down, okay? But they worked sculptures like this, hundreds of stone images and 3 floors of temple. It is one of the most incredible things that human beings have done on this planet. I don't want to give away the credit to the aliens. When I first visited this Kailash temple, I felt proud of being a human being. Because 4 generations of people, 135 years, maybe 5 generations or 6 generations of people, 135 years, they worked to the same plan, okay? Just with hammer and chisel, 4 million tons of rock was removed and they built a temple. Nothing was built, everything was carved out of the mountain, not this way, from the top down. It is the most incredible piece of engineering and craftsmanship that human beings have displayed on the planet. When I went there, my chest swelled. There's so many things that human beings are doing that we should feel ashamed of. But there are many things they have done that we can be really proud of. I don't want to give away credit to the aliens. No human beings did it. Human beings have always been doing incredible things, but they never got the media. Only those who did horrible things got the media. even today, isn't it? So, it doesn't matter who did it, aliens did it, human beings did it. What the hell are we doing as a generation of people is very important. Are we going to create something in this world where future generations will look back and say, wow, these 21st generation people did such fantastic things. Something that will make them proud of being human, not ashamed of being human. Let's do something like that.
So the body, or this, what you call as yourself, evolves itself in many different stages. Looking at this evolution, in yoga we see this as 7 different stages, or we say 7 different bodies man has. 7 different bodies need not necessarily mean actually 7 different bodies. These are 7 different stages in which one grows. From 0 to 7, up to 7 years of age, only the physical body grows. This is Sthula Sharir, or the gross body. 7 to 14, another body which is called as Bhava Sharir, the emotional development of a person happens. From 14 to 21, next 7 years, the Manasik Sharir, or the mental body, evolves. That is when the intellect develops. When intellect develops, his interest to learn, all these things will come. But generally today, modern society is limited only to these 3 states of the body: the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. After that, we are not seeking any development. The next 7 years are for Divya Manas. As you have a logical mind, there is another mind, which is completely different. In yoga, we avoid this 4th level of development, because once a person goes into this, he becomes miraculous. Many miracles start happening around him. What is there can be here, what is here can be there, you know what is happening there, these kind of things. In yoga, we seal this route. We don't allow people to go into Divya Manas because it is still mind. It may be… Divya means it's a grand mind, Mind on a much grander scale than that we know as mind is. Once you enter this mind, you know everything, Not everything, but when compared to other people, you look like a miracle. Once this happens, people generally lose the next stage of development. Most people will not have the maturity to just push it aside and go ahead. They will always get entangled with this. This is still a psychic state. Now you can do telepathy, you can do telekinesis, all these things. These are Divya Manas. From 21 to 28, this mind can be easily developed. This is a natural process. At that stage, it is very easy to develop that kind of ability. But people who are on the spiritual path should never seek that, because all that will end up with is a higher level of the mind. As it is, mind is deceptive. A higher mind is even more deceptive. It gets you entangled in a much deeper way than the low mind. So we just keep that aside. Nobody will seek the Absolute once they come to contact with Divya Manas, because it is so huge, so vast, so miraculous. It feels like God. You don't need anything more. That's a kind of feeling that it creates. But it also brings immense suffering, as normally a person who goes into Divya Manas, after 47, 48 years of life, tremendous amount of suffering is brought about. On the path of yoga, we are trying to bypass a few things and go always to complete emptiness, total dissolution, because till then the job is not done. Once we approach spirituality as a science, then we are not looking for entertainment on the path. Whatever little things happen, we are only looking at it as a stepping stone for something bigger that can happen. We are never looking at it as a big entertainment and getting enamored with that. It is very important. Little people feel like this in meditation, they are thrilled. And you find within 2 months they're again down. This is happening repeatedly because you get entertained. Don't get entertained with what is happening. Whatever is happening, our thing is only to reach the goal. Once a person has chosen the spiritual path, the way he sits, the way he stands, the way he eats, the way he speaks, the way he thinks and the way he lives, everything has to be spiritual. See, every aspect of our life has to become yoga, every aspect of life has to become a process of growth.
In this solar system, human system is an ultimate machine. 114 chakras in the system, you can move them. If you arrange it in a certain way, you've become a full-fledged divine entity.
We don't allow people to go into Divya Manas. Once you enter this mind, you know everything. It is more attractive than anything that you know in your life.
All the 7 different chakras are in your feet. There is a whole technology about how to hold the feet. What you cannot achieve in years and years of sadhana, you may achieve in a moment. Your nervous system is capable of feeling how old the flowers are. Every moment, absolutely, you are with that dimension which is the basis of everything.
Claims of individuals possessing yogic powers, often referred to as siddhis in yoga philosophy, are prevalent in various spiritual and religious traditions. These powers are believed to arise from advanced stages of meditation, spiritual practice and enlightenment. While empirical evidence for such powers is lacking, there are historical and contemporary figures associated with stories of extraordinary abilities attributed to their yogic practices. Here's a list of some of these individuals. Paramahansa Yogananda. Paramahansa Yogananda was born Mukunda Lal Ghosh in 1893 in Gorakhpur, India. He was initiated into the ancient science of Kriya Yoga by his guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri. Yogananda is best known for his pioneering efforts in introducing yoga and meditation to the West through his teachings and his book Autobiography of a Yogi. Throughout his life, Yogananda recounted numerous instances of experiencing siddhis or yogic powers. One of the most famous incidents involved his encounter with the renowned saint Sri Yukteswar, during which Sri Yukteswar demonstrated the power of astral projection by appearing to Yogananda in a vision while physically located elsewhere. Yogananda also spoke of his ability to communicate telepathically with his guru and other spiritual masters, as well as his experiences of levitation and materialization. While these claims remain controversial and are often met with skepticism, Yogananda's teachings on the potential for spiritual awakening and self-realization continue to inspire millions of people around the world. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa was born Gadadhar Chattopadhyay in 1836 in Kamarpukur, West Bengal, India. He was deeply devoted to the Divine Mother and practiced intense spiritual disciplines from a young age. Sri Ramakrishna is renowned for his eclecticism in practicing various parts of Hinduism, Islam and Christianity, and for his realization of the underlying unity of all religions. Sri Ramakrishna's life was filled with numerous incidents of miraculous events and siddhis. He was known for his ability to enter deep states of ecstasy, samadhi, and for his clairvoyant insights into the spiritual conditions of his devotees. Sri Ramakrishna also reportedly experienced visions of the divine and engaged in spontaneous acts of healing and divine play that astonished those around him. Perhaps one of the most famous incidents associated with Sri Ramakrishna is his vision of the Divine Mother Kali, in which he received initiation into her mysteries and attained the highest state of spiritual realization. His teachings and the stories of his miracles continue to inspire devotees and seekers of truth worldwide. Sri Ramana Maharshi. Sri Ramana Maharshi was born Venkataraman Iyer in 1879 in Tirucheli, Tamil Nadu, India. At the age of 16, he underwent a profound spiritual awakening in which he experienced the fear of death and the realization of his true nature as the eternal self. Sri Ramana later retreated to the sacred mountains of Arunachala, where he spent the rest of his life in deep meditation and self-inquiry. Sri Ramana Maharshi's presence was said to be transformative, and many who came into contact with him experienced profound spiritual insights and awakenings. He was known for his ability to transmit spiritual experiences to others through his silent gaze and for his profound teachings of self-inquiry and the nature of reality. While Sri Ramana Maharshi did not actively demonstrate siddhis or perform miracles in the conventional sense, many stories abound of devotees experiencing healings, visions, and other mystical phenomena in his presence. Sri Ramana's life and teachings continue to inspire spiritual seekers around the world. Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was born Narendranath Datta in 1863 in Kolkata, India. He met his guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa in 1881 and became deeply influenced by Sri Ramakrishna's teachings and spiritual realization. Swami Vivekananda played a key role in introducing Hindu philosophy and yoga to the Western world through his lectures and writings. Swami Vivekananda did not emphasize the demonstration of siddhis. He spoke of the potential for individuals to awaken their latent spiritual powers through yoga and meditation. He believed that true spiritual realization was the highest goal of human life and that yogic practices could lead to the development of higher consciousness and intuitive insight. Swami Vivekananda's teachings on the potential for spiritual growth and self-realization continue to inspire millions of people around the world, and his contributions to the spread of yoga and Vedanta in West are widely recognized. Anandamayi Ma was born Nirmala Sundari Devi in 1896 in present-day Bangladesh. From a young age, she exhibited signs of spiritual realization and was revered by many as a living embodiment of the Divine Mother. Anandamayi Ma attracted devotees from around the world and was known for her radiant presence, states of ecstasy, and reputed miracles. Numerous stories are told of Anandamayi Ma's ability to heal the sick, bless devotees with visions of the divine, and demonstrate supernatural powers such as materialization and levitation. Her teachings emphasize the importance of surrender to the divine will and the cultivation of love and compassion as a path to spiritual realization. Anandamayi Ma's life and teachings continue to inspire millions of people around the world, and her ashrams and spiritual centers remain places of pilgrimage for devotees seeking spiritual guidance and inspiration. These individuals are revered for their spiritual wisdom, teachings, and purported yogic powers, which continue to inspire millions of seekers on the path of spiritual growth and self-realization. While the stories of their miracles and siddhis are often met with skepticism, they serve as symbols of the potential for human beings to awaken to their highest spiritual potential through yoga, meditation, and devotion.